Assassin's Creed, mostly two, Brotherhood and Revelations, all take place in Renaissance Italy, mostly. It follows the story of Ezio Auditore, a assassin working for the Assassin's Guild, a group whose task is to fight the Templars, a secret organization bent on controlling the world in order to create a peaceful utopia. However, the assassins believe that freedom and liberty is more important than complete control. So he works as the guildmaster of the assassins in order to prevent that. I was really drawn to this game, again, for the gameplay, but what really kept me in the game was the environment that was created. It takes place in Renaissance Europe and in the Middle East. Rome, Venice, Istanbul, just some of the few places that you do visit in the three games. And throughout this, you come in contact with a lot of political aspects, religious aspects, different arts and cultures of the cities that you're in, the different class systems and the cultural relations that are found within this time period. I'm not a historian, so I don't know if they're actually true, but they have this ring of truth to them, and it really engages you as a player. It creates a kind of permanent link that allows you to engage in it and be fully in the world. What I loved about it was that it ties in not only to the past, but also to the present. A lot of the things you deal with, a lot of the people you encounter, it's all cyclical. The ideas that you have about other cultures, the political aspirations, the religious propaganda, it's all happening today. And it kind of creates this wonderful link between the past and the present. And really, again, engages you into the game. Another game I want to talk about is Dragon Age, a third-person fantasy, an RPG. You play as the main character, Hawk, and you basically are thrown out from your land with your family, and you travel to a new city and start building a life anew. Throughout all this, your ultimate goal is to either help or hinder the revolution of the mages, a group that's been confined and controlled because of their awesome power. An aspect that I liked about this game, because you're in a fantasy setting, you get to create your own character. You can be a mage, you can be a rogue, you can be a knight, and it really allows you to explore this fantasy world. It's interesting, as apart from Assassin's Creed, where you have a rich historical background. When you go to a game like Dragon Age, you have to suspend your disbelief. You have to commit to the world. And by doing that, you kind of create yourself in this world. You're able to empower yourself, so to speak. While in real life, you may not be powerless at all, you may not have any direction. In this world, you have the power to do what you want. You can be a mage, you can pick up a sword and fight for a cause. It's this kind of ideal of chivalry and this acceptance of magic, which I think we have this notion that that's what medievalism is all about, is this wonderful rich world of magic and mystery and swords and dragons. But I mean, it's not. Look at the witch trials. Those happened, and that's because people believed in magic, or even just knowledge, science. They were condemned for that kind of thing. But in this world, that's abundant, that's socially acceptable. So while I, personally, don't do magic out in public because it would weird people out. In this world, I can do that, and I can be proud that I'm doing that. And that's why I play these kind of games. It's empowering. It gives power to the powerless, basically.
Do you associate that ideal or idea with the Middle Ages? That only the rich and the kings and queens and knights were the ones with the power and nobody else were?
No, it's this idea of the underdog of, yes, the rich can afford the armor. The rich can afford the swords and the horses in order to go to war, in order to fulfill themselves. But it's this idea of an underdog who has nothing, building their way up and gaining the respect, gaining the prestige that the nobility is born with, that they get effortlessly. That's what's really appealing about it.
Would you say the medieval aspect of these games, the renaissance of it all, even the magic and the dragons and all of that, was a draw, or was it more so the fact that the medieval aspect played kind of a background role to it? It was more pretty settings and armor and magic and things like that.
No, I think the medievalism of the game is definitely a draw. If you set it in any other time period in the future or present, it loses an edge. It loses its wonder by putting it in this age where life is shit, and you rise above it, and you conquer it. It creates this wonderful catharsis at the end of the game when you finally beat it. It is a draw, because I mean, if you put a game in the Stone Age, you're fighting with clubs. Sure, that could be drawn to the medieval with, flails and maces, but it's because you have that social system, that cultural idea of the medieval ages, that's what creates that powerful draw. I think the draw of this specific era is kind of sweet spot in history, where in the Stone Age you have absolutely nothing, and now you have absolutely everything. There's a kind of sterility to our time where you can sit in your house and accomplish so much. Whereas in the medieval era, you have to go out, you have to explore, you have to interact with people face to face. It's kind of this visceral feeling to it that it's action. It's not just preparation. It's not just sitting down and delegating. You have to do it, you have to go for it. That's what's so drawing about it. It's has this humanity to it that connects you to other people, connects you to the time period. That's the wonderful thing about Assassin's Creed, is that it so flawlessly integrates all of this knowledge, and a vast amount of it, political, religious, characters, Da Vinci, that sort of thing. It integrates it into the game while not making it necessarily a vital point. It kind of just seeps in. What's wonderful about it is that, I'm really interested in the religious aspects. That's just a scenario that interests me, and I got to see how those interact with society in this game. But at the same time, what's great about Assassin's Creed is that, yes, they have these certain elements and this research that goes along with the game, but again, it is a video game. You have to wonder what's true and what's not. And that sort of forces you to go out and actually figure out what is true. Who was Da Vinci? Did he secretly work with societies? Did his inventions actually work? And that's the thing about video games, is that the real or the unreal becomes real. Inventions that failed miserably can let you fly through the sky and drop bombs on armies. It's a great connector. It's a great way to promote knowledge of this particular time.